Excellent, guys. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be installing these offset steering rack bushings. Now these are the ones from GK Tech that we're going to be installing on our S13 here. So what we're going to be doing, start off, is we're going to be going through all the tools that you're going to need in order to do this job. So these are going to be the tools that you're going to be needing for this install. Now the ones that you're actually going to need are going to be right here. You're going to need a ratchet, you're going to need a small extension, and a 17mm socket. For the install part, you are going to need thread locker, and you are going to need a torque wrench to torque everything down to spec. As for other tools that I did use during this, I did use a flathead screwdriver, and I did use vice grip needle nose pliers in order to remove and push the bushings into position. As well, I did use a wire brush and brake clean to clean up everything. And to get everything off a little bit quicker, I did use this drill right here. So, from here, what we're going to do, we're going to jump in to removing the bushings. Excellent. So, to start off, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be removing the passenger side bushing right here. Now, to start off with, there's going to be a 17mm bolt right here, and a 17mm right up in this hole right here. So, all you're going to need is a small extension on your ratchet in order to be able to access them. So, from here, get it on the end, and you can break the torque. For the front here, you can slide up inside, slipping it on the end. Then from there, you can slowly start to ratchet. And there's the first one. From here, coming back to the rear one, and remove the second one there. From here, what we can do is we can remove this top bracket. This one may be a little tricky to get off just because this tab here on the end. So just slowly work with it. You can get that off right there. From here, the next piece is just going to be removing this bushing. All you need to do, apply some slight pressure up on this rack, and you should be able to slowly wiggle it out. And there we go. There's the bushing off the passenger side. So from here, we're going to be moving over to the driver's side. So we're going to be taking off the rear one, then we're going to be moving up to the front one again. So same thing, slip a 17mm on. From there, break the torque, and you can slowly get that off. Moving up to the front though, slide on, break the torque, and from there we can work on getting them off. There's the front one. And coming to the rear, there's the rear one. Next, we're going to be working on getting this bracket off. If you're going to have any troubles trying to get it off, you can apply pressure up on the steering rack again. One other thing you can do is actually reach around the far side here, come in, and then from there you can push up. You can see I just loosened the bushing there, and you can remove it there. From here, the last piece of the puzzle is going to be to remove this rubber bushing right here. A couple different things you can do. You can push up on here to try and relieve some of the pressure. One of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm actually just going to be pulling down the bushing part way, and I'm going to use some needle nose pliers to lock onto there. Now from here, I can apply that pressure up. And from here I can slowly start to pull them out. And from there we got that second bushing. Now that we got everything out, what we can do is we can kind of go over each side. So on the passenger side, you're going to have a round bushing just like this. And you're supposed to have a round bracket just like that. On the driver's side, however, what you're going to have is a different shaped bushing, okay, where it's going to have that extra notch at the top. It's going to fit the rack itself properly. From here, this is the bracket also that you're going to be putting over top of the driver's side. Now, if you notice on my car, for some reason, the previous owner decided to install the passenger side onto the driver's side and the driver's side on the passenger. So this bracket is for the driver's side. This bracket is for the passenger side, making sure that you get those on the correct side. Now from here, looking at what we're going to be installing, this is going to be the passenger side. Now you can see how it comes in two pieces. One side is thicker than the other. What's going to be happening is this thicker side right here is going to be towards the back as much as you can. Same with this side, matching up on the bottom. From here as well, one thing that GK Tech also includes is going to be this extra kind of spacer here in the middle. So what you're going to have is two of them. You're going to put one on each bracket, making sure you do it on the same side of each of them. From here, for the driver's side, same idea. Here's where the notch is. Again, we're going to have that thicker part on the back side. And again, this part's going to be there. So then you're shifting the rack forward as best you can. And same thing goes for this one. You're also going to have that little spacer right there for the bolt. And one last quick thing before we install all of these parts, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cleaning them up so that way there's going to be no grease or dirt on the inside of these. And I'm also going to be cleaning up the inside of the car as well as the rack itself, so that way there's going to be no dirt, no debris within there when I go to install everything new. And just like that, with a little bit of editing, everything's nice and cleaned up, ready to go. Now, one key thing to make note of, with all the grime that was there, you can see exactly where it's rusted. So one of the key things I like to do is get rid of all that grime so you don't get all this rust. You can see where there was no grime, no rust, grime is rust. So it's really good to clean your vehicle, make sure that grime builds up so you don't have rust build up. So for the install, what we're going to do is we're going to be starting off on the driver's side here. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to take that bottom piece, we're going to be putting the thinner end on the bottom. So we're just going to be sliding this in, push the rack up just a little bit, and from there it should be able to slide just in perfectly. Now from here, what we're also going to do, grab that top section, and from here it's going to go on the top. Now, with the top section, you'll be able to see how far down you need to push that bottom piece in order to get everything in the proper position. So push up on the rack, and from there, you can slowly start to shift everything into position. Now from here, what I've managed to do is I've managed to get the driver's side bushings into the proper position. Now I know it's hard to see because they are black, but here on the driver's side I've managed to hook the top one in the proper position, and the bottom one is hooked in only about a half a mil away from the top one. So it's close enough that I can get it where I'm not going to actually be pushing the top one up and out of position. From here, the next piece of the puzzle is going to be installing this bracket. Now, because I did not actually have this in the proper position originally, I don't know the proper orientation for this tab. What I am going to be doing is putting this tab towards the front of the vehicle, though, because the backside here has a lot less metal between where the bolt is supposed to feed through. One of the other things I did encounter was these power steering lines were in the way and they were too close, so I have managed to bend them slightly to push them up and out of the way, so now this can fit perfectly in there. Excellent. So the next piece we're going to be doing is we're going to be installing this, sliding it right up into position and getting the proper spot. From here, we're going to be installing our bolt, make sure we have some thread locker on there with our spacer in between. So, slide that up. And all we're going to do is we're just going to hand thread it for now. With the rear one installed right here just loosely, next we're going to be doing the front one with thread locker. In order to get this one on though, I am going to be using my socket with an extension, and again, just feeding this up by hand. Alright, so now that the driver's side's hand tight, what I'm now going to be doing is moving over to the passenger side, getting those bushings in the proper position, getting that bracket on, and again getting them hand tight before I torque everything down. So we'll move over to the passenger side. Excellent. So for the passenger side, we're going to be installing these bushings now. It doesn't matter which one goes on the top, which one goes on the bottom, just as long as the thinner part's going to be on the bottommost part and the topmost part, so the thickest part's at the rear. So we're going to drop this into position. Number one slides in nice easy, and number two is just going to sit right there on top. Now the other piece is we're going to get this bracket, and we're just going to put it over right into proper position, just like that. So at this point, before you put the bolts in, this would be the time to adjust that bushing and slide it up so the thickest part's at the rear if you need to make any adjustments at this point. So from here, I'm going to be loosely putting in the bolt. So what I'm going to do is actually start at the front part here. So I'm going to be just taking this, sliding up into position, and getting that hand tight. One thing to mention is I did use thread locker on that. From here, we're going to be doing the rearmost part. Again, we're going to be using that kind of spacer to come in between here. And we're going to be coming up right there, perfect position. Again, we are going to be using thread locker. And again, I'm just going to be getting this hand tight. Excellent. So now that the passenger side is hand tightened and the driver's side's hand tightened, we're now going to torque everything down to spec. Now, the spec for this calls for 65 to 80 foot-pounds of torque. Now, using thread locker, I'm also going to be torquing that down. I shouldn't have any issues with it coming loose. There's one. And there's two. We can jump over to the driver's side now. Coming to the driver's side here. We'll come up on the inside. We'll get this front one torqued. Perfect. There's one side. And there's the second one. Excellent. And from here, guys, we've finished installing our new bushings underneath the vehicle. We've removed our old worn out bushings. And now from here, I'm ready to actually put together the rest of my suspension here. So hopefully this video helps you guys out in installing those offset steering rack bushings. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. And until next time, guys, Have a good one.